Right, so it's the next day. My electricity went out, which for this series actually is pretty normal. Which is kinda wild. Oh wait, did I lose all my items? I did not. Wait, so did I move back in progress then? Because I swear, you cannot go back to your base without... Wait, why do I have 2 Heart of Flames? Okay, anyway, whatever. I remember this series was probably the first one where my electricity went out. And back then it was a travesty, man. But luckily now I have some fail-safes to prevent any like loss of my videos. Because before I had to spend like a solid hour to try to find a solution, only to discover that I couldn't really fix my footage fully without paying. You know, now it was like a 5-minute fix, it's fine. I've got an idea for how we can get the reward from... No. So I guess you saved before I went out. Alright. Wait, what's that? Ruler's armor. Armor crafted using the core of the Stone King. Summons its power after successfully dodging. Okay. But anyway, I think I have thought of a solution to that puzzle. Because I always try to go in there and then try to mute my game. But what if I just went in there with a muted game? Would that automatically just, I don't know, work? Maybe that's how you get a legendary item in there instead of the purple one. I don't know. Wait, who are you? Who are you? I just made an awesome gun. Wanna buy it for 1000 gold? Okay, maybe next time. Wait, I don't have that much. Oh, I almost have it. Okay, I guess we'll buy it. We just start the game and it's already banging. But right, going back to the topic I wanted to speak about before, I guess. Okay, so I fixed the data. Now going back to the thing that I wanted to talk last day. Not enough cash, stranger. What? 998? What do you mean? I have almost enough. If I didn't buy 1 gem. Can I sell anything? Oh my god, seriously? 2 cash? That's not enough. Okay, going back to the past topic. I searched around for a used keyboard because a used keyboard isn't really a problem. Like, I don't feel disgusted by using something used. And a keyboard isn't really going to wear out, like... I'm not quite sure what item could be a good example of it being used and it being bad. But yeah, keyboards are not one of them, let's just say. So we're searching around either for a silent keyboard that was already made and used, or a keyboard that's hot swappable and I would just buy myself some silent switches to add to that keyboard. So I was searching around a little bit, but I discovered one keyboard that wasn't used and it seemed pretty good. And it was made by a Polish... Wait. An abandoned supply depot. It might be overrun by monsters nowadays. Let's be careful. Okay, so this is not what I wanted to say. Wait, is this gonna be filled with money? Oh, come on, man. No need to tease me like that. So there was this one keyboard that was made by a Polish company, which meant it was cheap. Stonks. Okay, this keyboard was very special because it had couple elements that were really good. First, it was hot swappable, so stonks. Second, there was a variant with silent switches already, which is really good, because it was basically what I was looking for. And it costed around like 300 PLN, which is basically like $75, I would say. So for a mechanical keyboard, that seems really reasonable compared to whatever else absurd costs would bring me. So it sounded pretty good. But the problem was, it was a silent keyboard, and anything related to silent switches is always out of stock for some reason. Like it's either too expensive, or you can never buy it. And I wanted to make a joke that companies making silent switches somehow found a way to make money without actually selling stuff, because there was one switch that I was willing to buy, because it had really good reviews and no one seemed to be negative about it, which was a shocker. but it was always out of stock for some reason. And this joke would be good, but after some action, it is always in stock for some reason for the past like 2 months. But okay, going back to the keyboard that I wanted to buy, it was reasonably priced. Oh, I can just also press the RB or RB here. It was reasonably priced, and it seemed to have good reviews when it comes to the keyboard and the switches inside of it, which, you know, really good. So I wanted to buy that keyboard, but it was out of stock because of course it was the silent variant. But when looking at a used keyboard, there was this exact keyboard for almost the same price, just with different key switches, or no, not switches, it was like keybinds, maybe it's called. Okay, the thing that goes on top of the switches, so you don't just press these naked little things. It was slightly built different above the switch area, but it had the original part inside of the box, from what I've read from the person that was selling it. And I was so tempted to buy it. I was like, okay, when I go back to home, I'm gonna buy this, 100%. But then like 1 or 2 days later, like the day I wanted to buy it so much, the used version, I've also seen an ad for the... Wait, what the fuck? I've also seen... Did I not pick that up? Did I forget to pick this specific thing up in the previous location? When I'm here only to do that? Oh god, how can I make such a mistake? But okay, I was on the fence of buying that item. Like literally. Lucky L77. Very high performance weapon, a lucky gun. I was really on the fence of buying that item, the used one. And then the exact same day that I was ready to do it, I've seen an ad for a keyboard made by the same company as the keyboard I was trying to buy. It was almost the same price. And the only problem with it was that it didn't have a silent switch variant. So I was like, okay, this one doesn't have silent switches, I don't think I'm gonna buy it, no thank you. But then, like, during the day I was like, I'm kinda interested about the keyboard. It was apparently made by a very good company. So like, maybe it is actually pretty good. Wait, what is this place? So maybe it is actually pretty good. And I was really wondering what did they improve since the last version. And I was kinda like, why the fuck did they not include a silent variant? Because it seemed pretty popular, so why remove something that's apparently really liked? Was I here before? Why is this destroyed? Okay, so... Is this a puzzle? The up, lower, down? Am I supposed to hit them in... Okay, I'm trying to tell a story. Why am I getting these interesting puzzles suddenly? Okay, Falcone doesn't want to wear that. Okay, give me that for a second. Okay. Left up. Okay, so this shows one sign. Oh. What? Did I fuck it up? What's going on? What the fuck is going on? Moonfire. Wait, I already have this item. Did I already do this puzzle? What's going on? What the fuck? Okay, yeah, sure. There was this new version of the keyboard, and I was wondering what it had. It didn't have a silent variant, which made me kinda bummed out, because why would they not suddenly stop selling a variant that's really popular from the fact that it was out of stock, I would say. So it kinda made me not interested in the keyboard. But then after a while I was like a bit interested in what they improve. And I was kinda surprised because before that point I read a review about the previous keyboard, and it had like 3 points that were a bit of a gripe for the reviewer, which were like, let me remember, the switches were revealed, so they weren't hidden, so sound could escape from the keyboard a bit more. It was also the problem of non-removable cable, so if it broke down, you just couldn't replace it, which yeah, does sound like a problem. And I don't remember the last thing, but I do remember there were a couple of problems, but when I was looking at the problems I was like, I don't know, I kinda don't mind them. Except the, like, cable, because if a cable destroys your whole keyboard, it's like, what the fuck, man? That's not cool. Like, if such a flimsy thing can destroy your whole experience, it's kinda a bad design, to be honest. So, I've seen this review and was like, okay, I kinda agree, but not fully. But then I look at the new keyboard and I see what they fixed. And it was literally like they read the review and tried to fix everything that the person wrote about. So I was like, oh damn, they actually listened to the reviewer. What the fuck? So that made me like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna buy it, but I'm more tempted now. Maybe I shouldn't buy that used keyboard of the previous version. So I kinda sit around the idea for a bit. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna buy it next month. Why not? I don't wanna spend too much money this month, alright? Yeah. And it was like day of Halloween at that point, which is like the last day of the month. So maybe I should wait until the next payday before I do it. Yeah, let's do that. And then the exact same fucking day, the like 30th or the 31st, because the company that makes this keyboard has like the 30th anniversary, they've decided to make an 10% off code. And I was like, okay man, what the fuck? I was not supposed to buy this, but now I'm really tempted even more. So literally at like 10 PM I was like, okay, let's buy this. Fuck it, it's 10% cheaper, why not? So I bought the keyboard. And the only problem was that I didn't have any switches towards it, so it was loud as fuck, which my only point of buying the keyboard was to make it quiet, so that was a bit of a bummer. But I was like, okay, it's the new month, I've paid for a new keyboard, I've bought a new controller, I've bought a new mousepad, and I've gotten the new mouse. Okay, a lot has happened, let's just chill out for a while. I don't wanna buy anything, maybe I'm gonna buy some switches in the future. So I'm gonna research a bit more about the switches, because switches, for some reason, are even more divisive than keyboards. Where every review, like, reviews for switches are the worst thing I've read in my life. Because, okay, remember the reviews about the controller? Yeah, okay, let's see that, but on a 10 times the scale. Every switch goes like this. Okay, this switch is great. This switch is amazing. This is the best switch I've used in my life. 10 out of 10. Use it, buy it, get it to your setup. And I'm like, okay, that sounds really nice. And then I read another review and it's like, this switch sucks ass. It's so mushy. It's so bad. It's so loud. I almost became deaf when using it. And it's like for every switch you read on the market. It's insane. So I've literally spent hours each day losing sleep, trying to discover what the fuck am I supposed to buy that's not like extremely expensive, because some switches are just insane when it comes to that, while also just decent. And I've spent literally hours each day researching switches. And I was like, okay, this is fucking bullshit. Am I supposed to not buy any switch at this point? Because it was seriously just not fun to do that. Just having so much polarity in any review that you're reading. So I was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of fed up with this bullshit. I just don't want to buy any switch at all right now. But then the holy switch came. A small company by the name of, I think, Gamma K. And for some reason, they've sold like okay, I need to remember the name. So they've sold a couple of switches that were silent, and they were called like Pegasus... Wait, who are you? I do remember you were on the graveyard, so what the fuck? Someone is playing the piano. Yeah, I know this guy. This is a portable piano. Let its transformation mesmerize you. Okay, I do remember he was playing at the graveyard to soothe the souls of the dead, I think. But anyway, this company called Gamma K, I think, was selling these switches called like Pegasus, Griff and Phoenix. And these came out of nowhere. I was searching about switches every day for hours, and I've never heard of these. And I was really confused at what the fuck are these even. So I've looked around some sound tests, and these sounded rad. Like, actually well, like pretty quiet. So they were pretty good on that front. Another thing I was looking at was the reviews, naturally, and they were really not popular at all, but every review was like, yes, these are actually pretty good. They are cheap, they are great, I would recommend buying them. So I was like, okay, alright. We have somehow gotten to a point where there's a good Switch, apparently, made by a company that doesn't have any bad reputation with them. Okay, maybe I should buy them. I'm looking at the price. It's pretty cheap, Like compared to like half the Switches, they didn't cost anything at all, to be honest. So I was like, okay, this is pretty good. But is there a catch somewhere? There must be one. There's no way that I just find this perfect Switch after looking for it for days. I looked at reviews, nothing was written that was like, okay, these are awful. The only thing that was negative was like, some pins while they came in, they were slightly bent, but they are easy to fix. So it's like, okay, if that's the only problem, then why not buy them? Sure. So I was like, okay, next month when I'm gonna have the money, I'm gonna buy them. Or you know what? No, I'm gonna buy them when I have my PC back. Yeah, because that's coming next week. For sure this time. Like, yeah, I'm saying that for the past 6 weeks, but this time for sure. What the hell is going on? Why did I almost die? Yeah, this time I'm gonna get these for sure. And you can guess what happened then. I didn't get my PC back. And I was really depressed. I was just sitting at my house every couple days, like pressing my keyboard, playing with my mouse a little bit, just laying in my bed completely depressed. I couldn't even test if these things even worked. And that was like, oh my god, what if one of these items doesn't work? I'm gonna need to give it back. But if I have to wait for this computer for the past 6 fucking weeks, then maybe it's gonna be too late to give it back. And it's gonna be out of warranty. Oh no. So I was not feeling great at that point, like I was usually. But there's also one element that I didn't mention up until this point. Wait, what is this? Oh, better potions, right, that was really good. But I also didn't mention one thing up until this point. Did I ever mention that I got the actual controller? I don't think so. And that's for a very specific reason. So, the day the controller was finally supposed to come to me, I'm like, fuck yeah, finally! I've been waiting for this thing for the past like 20 days! And yeah, the timeline is a bit fucked, because I think I got it after my mouse and mouse pad, and maybe after the keyboard, but before the switches. So wait, I'm actually a good point with the story, wait. Maybe I fucked up and it was actually different with the before the keyboard. Could be. So anyway, the day finally almost came with the controller. I was like, yes, let's go. Maybe I'm gonna get finally my freaking PC back and I'm gonna be able to test my controller. Hopefully it's good. Because there were a couple reviews that got me a bit stressed out, because apparently the triggers in that controller were a bit finicky, and when pressing them they would just stick a bit, which doesn't sound like a good quality, but whatever, maybe if they're a good controller, who cares? So I was pretty excited, and also a bit stressed out over the whole thing, and I was waiting for the controller, and then the day with the controller came, and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go, let's play around with it. And then nothing came. I look at my phone, and there's one email from the post service company, and it's like, wrong address was written, package didn't came, one more attempt before it's gonna be sent back to the original sender. So I'm looking at that. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? No, I've waited for this controller for a month. What do you mean it's gonna go back if they're gonna just discover that, yeah, the package was sent to a wrong address? What do you mean? And I was really stressed out. And I looked at the company where I bought this item, which was AliExpress. And for some reason, AliExpress has like almost no way of you telling your full address, so you have to send some really scarce details. But I looked at the address I sent, I looked at Google Maps, and it shows exactly my house. So I'm like, what do you mean the wrong address? I looked at the Google Maps, it shows my address. What the hell? What's going on? I want this controller. I don't have my PC. I don't want to feel even more depressed right now. Thank you very much. So I was a bit stressed out at that point. But then the next day, the person that was actually giving the package called me and was like, okay, the address on this package is wrong. What is the correct address, sir? So I said my address, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna drive there. Be there in like 1 hour. And then finally my package came. I looked inside of it. It's the controller. I'm like, thank fuck. This thing got me stressed the hell out. I didn't suddenly want to discover that I don't have it, especially after paying a bit. So I was delighted that at least one thing came to me. But there was still the problem of I cannot actually test the controller. So I had this controller with me. I just, with the most depressed fake play on it, I was just using it, and there were some things about the controller that I've noticed that were kinda strange, which, okay, I should probably say finally the name of the controller that I got, which was the Game Sir like Special Edition controller, I think G7 maybe? Not sure about the whole name, but if you look at Game Sir, then you should see the company that made this controller. Okay, I'm frozen, hello. And I got the version with, of course, the whole sticks, like I've said before. So I've played around with the controller a little bit. Wasn't quite sure if it worked, because I can't test it out without a PC. I have a small laptop, but it struggles to even open up, so testing out something in a game is basically impossible, because then it would just explode. So I had this little controller. So I was a bit stressed out if there was something wrong with it, because of course the reviews were so mixed and some were saying that something was wrong with the controller even when it came. So I was just pure stress when it comes to if it works. Maybe it's broken, maybe I bought something that's not working, but it looked decent. I've played around with it, fake played, and everything seemed fine. So I was at least happy about the fact that nothing visually was wrong with it. But I've noticed some... Oh, this is a good price, sir. I want to have at least 1000 gold though. But I've noticed that there were some differences between this controller and like the usual Xbox One controller. Like for example, I'm not quite sure how to call it. The legs of the controller? Like the small bits that on the bottom that you're supposed to hold the controller by were a bit more straight than they would be in the controller like Xbox, because in Xbox it's more like to the sides, you know, with this controller it's more like forward towards you, which isn't really a big deal. I'm not gonna complain about that. But one review I've read was like, this controller is a bit smaller than the usual one, which I can agree with, which poses a big problem towards people with bigger hands. But luckily I have pretty mediocre hands, so it wasn't a problem to me. But yeah, if you want to buy a controller, I would maybe like recommend this, although like, but only if you're willing to risk on it, because from the reviews I'm not 100% sure if you'll buy this controller it's gonna be perfect. So I don't really want to recommend something that you can buy and then discover that there's something wrong with it. I would prefer to recommend stuff that you buy and you're like, okay, it works perfectly, this is a good item, thank you for your review. So yeah, I would recommend the controller, but like, it's a risky maneuver, let's just say. Wait, I have 2 double jumps. Oh, wish I knew that like 2 seconds ago. So yeah, this is a bit risky maneuver, but it's a good controller, so if you're willing to risk it, then yeah, it's worth it. Okay, let's like go like this. And then boom. Yeah, good. I don't know why I'm so good at these puzzles suddenly. Maybe I just remembered from watching myself be so cringe at them. But yeah, the controller is pretty good. But I didn't know if it worked, which is a problem. Because I don't know, controller can seem good, but it needs to work if I want to use it at all. So I was waiting for my PC, depressed. I had the keyboard, luckily. I had plans for what switch I'm gonna buy for it. I had a new mouse. I had a mousepad for the first time. I was depressed while playing around with these items. And with each day I was like, come on man, I just gotta test these. I just wanna know if they're good or not. What the hell, man? I just wanna play some Hotline Miami. But I couldn't do that. So that was sad. And after a couple of days of more waiting, but there was also another switch towards the keyboard that I was looking at, which was, I think it's called Heimu Heartbeat Switch, which used a bit of a different technology in the switch department. And instead of a rubber inside of the switch to absorb the noise, it had a little hole that somehow also disrupted the noise. So it was quiet, and like the only negative thing that I've read about other silent switches was kind of removed because of that they are mushy, which I don't know what does that mean. Apparently the normal keyboards that are not mechanical are also mushy as fuck, which makes them unusable. But I've used them my whole life, and I don't know what does that mean. But the problem with the other switch was that it was never available, which is a mystery to me. I've looked at what people think about this switch, and it was literally perfection, apparently. But it was always available like once every 3 months for like couple days before people bought them out. So I was like, how do these people even make money if they're selling switches that are kinda low on price, and they sell them every like 3 months, only once. So I was on the fence with buying a Switch at the time because I just wanted to wait till I have my PC, play around with the Switches I currently have before going to the new ones, and then I would be able to maybe play some games like Hotline Miami. Because okay, I think I've kinda missed one thing about what I was supposed to tell. Why was I even trying to get a silent switch? What was the big deal with that? And the big deal is, when playing games, and especially I noticed that when playing Mad Pirate Skeleton Bomber, is that I need to edit out a lot of the noise in the background that you can hear with my keyboard and my mouse, because they're just too loud and it can be pretty distracting towards the action. Hello there. So I was trying to mitigate that, that's why I was trying to get the silent switches. So every day I was just looking at the reviews of the gamma case switches. I was also looking at if the other switches are even available. I was like, come on man, I don't want to buy anything, but if these became available, like, man, I would buy them, not gonna lie. And then like Black Friday came, which I'm not quite sure even when that is, and the gamma case switches became a bit cheaper, which is a surprise because they were already cheap. The only problem with the cheaper price of them was that they only made them cheaper in the variant with only like 35 switches. There were like 2 variants of how many switches can you buy, which was 35 and 70. So yeah, buying the 35 switches was less efficient than buying the 70, because the 70 you buy more, you pay less, which is a good way of making someone pay for more. So the Black Friday came, it made the 35 switches a bit cheaper, but it was still more expensive than just buying 70, and the 70 switches didn't change any price. So it was like, okay, the price didn't change, I'm probably just gonna buy 70 of these, and if I like them then I'll just buy another 35, why not? So I was still looking at the other switches then. It was like, I mean, if it doesn't do anything to me, like, why would I even buy it? Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Okay, what was I talking about because I had to focus on the boss? Wait, is this actually... Oh my god, this is the time I have right now. Oh, that's actually a nice detail. I forgot what I was talking about, man. Probably the cost of the switches, so I wasn't gonna buy... Oh, yeah. Yeah, going back to the topic. So I was just looking at the other switches because, like, the gamma case switches were the last resort if I had to buy something. You know, the others just were the thing I wanted to buy. Now I can just look at it from here. That's nice. I don't know, should I buy it? Like, this is so bad. Wait, this increases the attack speed of weapons, but it... Huh. I hope it doesn't affect my little boy. You can disable it? Is that... Some of these upgrades have downsides. Permanent upgrade that has a big downside. God fucking why? Who thought this is a good idea? What? Nani? Wait. I was complaining about that feature, and you can... What? You can turn it off if you don't like the effect? What the fuck? What is going on? I'm shook. Like, that was my big complaint about this game, that you can buy permanent upgrades that you get worse stats from. And you can do this. What the fuck? Okay, I'm shook. I'm actually fucking shook. What's going on in this game? Did it do something right? Was I wrong about being so rude about it? What the fuck? I was just moved to the core. What the fuck? So I was kind of waiting for the Hamu switches to come and finally be able to purchase them, because the other switches that were the Gamma K, they were like the last resort. I'm gonna buy them if I'm gonna need them, but if I don't need them, then I just kind of keep them around. So I was kind of looking around every day if they finally became available, but sadly they never became available. So I was like, okay, the Gamma K switches are slightly cheaper when it comes to the 35 variant. You know what, I'm just gonna buy them, why not? So I bought the Gamma K switches. I've planned only to buy like 70 of them. Oh, this is useful. Only 70 of them. And in the future, like, if I really like the switches, I'm just gonna buy even more to fill my whole keyboard. Well, because the sale is going on, why not why not just buy all of them at once, like 70 and 35 at the same time. Oh wait, I've completely forgot about one segment that I was supposed to talk about. Oh god. And it's actually pretty fucking important. Oh god damn it. Okay. Let's go back to the keyboard.
Broken.